Welcome back, everyone. We are going to go over how to install a new shift knob on a 2015 B8.5 Audi A4. Changing the shift knob on your own car is something that is a huge part of personalizing your vehicle. It's something you touch every single day, all day long, every time you shift a gear. Of course, OEM shift knobs are meant to fit the aesthetic of the interior of the car and feel nice for daily driving, but it can get a little bit old. And in the case of mine, it's a little bit worn out. We're gonna keep it short and sweet, and we're gonna be replacing the shift knob with an aftermarket shift knob from ECS Tuning. It is a weighted billet aluminum shift knob with perforated leather. Typically the shift knobs that come stock on all cars that are manual tend to be a little bit on the lighter side. They have a very rounded off, smooth and even shape so that it fits well in the palm of your hand, but it doesn't give you the best feedback. So going with a weighted billet aluminum shift knob that's slightly heavier than the OEM shift knob kind of allows for A, more of a racy feel, B, more of a custom look, and C, it allows the weight of the knob to fall into the gear easier, which in some instances allows for better shifting. So let's get one half decent second gear pull, and then we'll break it down and show you exactly how to replace the shift knob in this car. Crispy. To start off this install, we have to remove the shift boot piece from the center console of the car. There are two clips on both sides that you need to remove. Should be as simple as pulling up on the shift boot from one side and pulling it up over the top of the shift knob. You're going to want to remove this metal ring around the outside of it. So you definitely want to be gentle around your center console, but what I've seemed to have the most luck with so far is taking a flathead, kind of prying down around the edges of this clip, working it out piece by piece. Once you get it down low enough, you should just be able to take a pair of pliers and kind of just wiggle it down off of these clips on the original shift knob. With enough wiggling and prying, you can get that clip off. And then just like that, you should be able to pull your shift knob up. You really don't have to worry about damaging the shaft in the center, as it is hardened steel, I do believe. Take that piece out. You're gonna wanna take your old shift boot off, and there's this ring on the inside that with enough little pulling and prying, kind of comes right off. Flip it inside out, give it a little pull, and then just like that, your old shift knob is removed from your shift boot. Just feeling the difference in these, you kind of see this one just bobbles around in my hand. This one's a lot more substantial. I do believe it's gonna be a little bit shorter too. It's a little bit less fat, but I think it looks great nonetheless. Slide it on. Do a general test fit just to get a feel for it. There is the before and after. So I do want to see, it's about as tall as my hand next to it. Pull that guy off. Yeah, it is absolutely shorter. It should be just a little bit of a shorter throw. It fits on there nice. It's as simple as that. We're just gonna go step by step and then throw it back on. Take your shift knob. You're gonna add the ECS Tuning branding band. I don't get the point of it. I think it's just for branding. Turn your shift boot inside out, keeping it in the orientation that you know it goes inside of your center console. Drop this through, and you are going to line up the center lines of this to try and be as perfectly parallel with these stitches as you can get it. Line it up. I would call that just about perfect. And then you're going to take the ring that locks the shift boot on. It might twist a little bit, so just kind of make sure as you do this, make sure that it's perfectly straight. Get a good grip on your shift knob and your shift boot so that it doesn't allow for any twisting. Just give that a good tighten. Really, you should use a wrench, but I'm just gonna use a little pair of pliers. Make sure it's on there extra tight. Personally, I like it where the ECS Tuning logo is away from the shift knob so that you kind of get that OEM look to it. You wanna look down at the stitching, make sure that it's aligned. We're going to install the 2mm grub screws. You're gonna take the grub screws, you're gonna put them in each of these side 3 holes, 1, 2, and 3, making sure to leave just enough room so that you can get your Loctite on there. Second screw's going in, just 1 or 2 threads. Third screw going in, just 1 or 2 threads, like I said. So once you have all 3 grub screws installed around the edges of your shift knob, you're gonna take the blue Loctite that comes along with the kit from ECS, and you're just gonna put a healthy drop on each of those threads. All right. By the way, these are in fact 2mm grub screws. So you will need a 2mm Allen key to properly install these on your car. We're gonna take this, drop it back on your car, give it a good push down as far as it'll go. You wanna make sure to line up that piece parallel with the sides of your car, obviously as perfectly straight as you can get it. Really press it down, and then you are going to snug down each of those grub screws as good as you could get them. Grub screw 1, nice and tight. Grub screw 2, nice and tight. Get that third and final grub screw situated in there. Just don't want to strip the grub screws. Take our shift boot, throw it back down, put the clips under one side, push the others back in where they belong. Give it a good click, give it a twist, make sure she's on there good. You have your brand new shift knob in your B8.5 Audi A4. Looks really nice all in all. Put my lucky hairband back on that Chris gave me. Now it's official. New shift knob. All right, so I'm taking it around the block. Initially, a few thoughts that come to mind are that it's much smaller and much lower, but because it's weighted the way it is, it falls into the gear much better. Kind of just plops in there. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what other content you might want to see. Thinking about doing car reviews in the future with a couple of my friends of mine. Besides that, I hope to catch you soon. Peace.